It went right back on.
Okay.
That's
mean-
why Martha didn't say anything either.
Okay.
You just
I mean the
froze.
sound. Oh, here, put it on.
The picture would freeze
Oh.
and there was no sound, but it would,
Okay.
you know, wherever it froze, we still heard what you
Oh,
had to say.
okay. All right. Yeah, it was probably the internet connection or something.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
These things happen. Hello.
Does this one stay? Oh, this is the oldest snake.
I've ever been. Yes. Ever.
Rangers.
Yes. Yeah. It'll be close. It'll be close.
Just about.
It is. It is. Okay. We might as well get started. Hopefully we'll gather a minion before long. Time goes by. Okay, we'll begin on page 10. Yep. Okay. Pardon? He's not back yet. Sunday, I believe. Yeah. Yedi nefes av harachaman mishoch avdach eretz zonach yarotz avdach kemo haya yishachaveh Kol hadarach ki erav lo yedidutach ino vetzuf v'chol taham Adonai ziv haolam nafshi cholat Avata Anaela Rivanala Veharodla Noham Ziva Az Titrazek Vititrape Vihaitalach Shivchat Olam Vatikehemu Rachamecha V'chusna Abeno Havach Ki kama nisaf Liro betiferet Uzach Ana Eli Machmali Pi Hushana Ve'alti Talam Igalena ופרוס אביב עלי, את סוכת שלומך. תהי ארץ וכבודך, נגילה ונשמחה בך. מהר אהוב היווה מועד, וכונני כי מעולם. אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה, אלא לה 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 לה. Page 11. Lichuner Adonai l'Adonai Naria Litzor Yishenu. Let us go and sing to Adonai. Let us trumpet praise to our protector. Filled with thanks, let us greet God, raising our voice in song.
Great Adonai, greater sovereign than all other deity. God's hands form the earth, deep mountain crest too are God's work. He is God, for God made it. Dry land was fashioned by God's hand.
Come, then let us bow and kneel. Let us bend our knees in the presence of Adonai, who formed us. For Adonai is our God, and we are God's flock, sheep in God's caring hands.
If only you would listen to God's voice, not become hard-hearted. At that time at Massah in the desert, when your ancestors tried me and tested me, though they had seen what I had wrought.
For 40 years I was troubled by that generation, and I said, these are people whose hearts have gone astray. They do not know my ways. So in anger I swore they would not enter my rest. Arba'im shana akut b'dor, va'omar amle toei levav heim, v'heim lo yadu derachai, asher ishbati v'apihi, imivon amunuchati. Page 13. Shiru l'Adonai shir chadash, Shiru l'Adonai kol haaretz, Shiru l'Adonai baruch shemo, basur miyom liyom Yeshuato, sapru v'goyim kivodo, v'chol ha'amim neflotav, ki gadol Adonai. Omolal mehod no gahu al kol Elohim ki kol Elohei hamim elilim Adonai shamayim asam od vehadar lefanav az vetifer b'mikdasho. Avol Adonai mishpachot amim, Avol Adonai kavod va'oz, Avol Adonai kevod shemo, Zehu mincha uvo lechasrotav, Yishlach Avol Adonai B'hadra kodesh hilo mipanav kol haaretz, imru v'goyim Adonai malach, avti kon tevel ba'al timot, yadinamim b'mei sharim yismuchu hashamayim v'tagel haaretz, yiram hayam lo Yalo Sadai V'chawal Asher Bo Hazirananu Kalat Seyar Lifnei Adonai Kihiva Lishpot Haaretz Ishpot Tevel B'tzedek Ve'amim be'emunato Yalai la 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 Ya la 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 Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la la. Page 15. Adonai malach tagel haretz yismechu im rabim. Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, the many distant lands rejoice.
Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice. God's throne. Fire daughters before God. Procedures round about.
Flashes of lightning illumine the land, the earth watches and trembles. Mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the master of all the earth.
Heaven shows God's righteousness. Which was neither to be ashamed or praising false God. All that is being supreme knowledge.
Zion hears of it and rejoices. The cities of Judah exult as you, Adonai, pass judgment. Those who love Adonai hate evil. God protects the lives of the faithful, saving them from the hands of the sinful.
Elijah stoned the righteous and rejoice in Adonai, the righteous people.
Ohave Adonai sinur ha-shomer nafshot hasita miyad reshaim yatzilem or zaru ala tzadik l'ishrei lev simcha simchu tzadikim Adonai behodu lezecher kodsho. Page 17. Mizmor shiro ladonai shir chadash כי נפלאות עשה, הושיע לו ימינו, וזרוע קודשו, הודיע אדוני ישועתו, לעיני הגויים גילה צדקתו, זכור חסדו ואמונתו, לבית Yisrael, Chol ha'se'aretz, et Yeshuat Eloheinu, Hariu l'Adonai kol ha'aretz, Yitzchu v'chananu v'zameru zaru l'Adonai v'chiyinor, Yichinor v'kol zimcha, Chatzot tzrok v'kavol shofar, Ariu livnei HaMelech Adonai, Yiram hayam umloho, Evel v'yoshveva, Lehaot yimcha uchav, Yachad harim yechanenu livnei Adonai kiva, Ishbod haaretz, Yishbod hevel b'tzedek, ve'amim v'meisharim. Now on page 19. Adonai malak irgazu amim, Yoshev kruvim tanu taretz. Adonai reigns, nations tremble. The one enthroned amidst the cherubim makes the world quake. A sovereign strength lies in the love of justice, and you forge the paths of truth, judging Jacob righteously and justly. You spoke to them from amidst the cloud. They kept your covenant and the law you gave them. You answered them, Adonai, our God. You were a forgiving God to them, even as you punished them for their transgressions. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu v'yishtachavu lahar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. We'd rise for the next psalm on page 21. Mizmor leDavid, Havol Adonai b'nei Eli, Havol Adonai, Kavod Vahod. Havol Adonai, Kevod Shemo Yisachavol Adonai, Hadrat Kodesh. Kohol Adonai Alam Hayim El Kavod Kirihim Adonai Amahim Rabim Kol Adonai Hakohah Kol Adonai Behadar Kol Adonai She'arazim Shaver Adonai Erazeh Halvanon Vayarkinen Kemoegel Levanon Vesirihon Kemoven Reimim Kol Adonai Ozev Lehavot Eish Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Yechol El Ayalot Vayechesof Yehavot Uvhechalot Omer Kavod Adonai Lam Habo Yashav Vayeshev Adonai Melech Leolam Adonai Oz Le'amo Yiten Adonai Yevarech Adamo V'Shalom Yalai la 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 yalai la 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 yalai la 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 yalai la la yalai. You may be seated. Continue with Ana B'Choach on 22. We'll chant it in Hebrew and then recite it in English responsibly. Ana B'Choach gedulat yimincha tatitzruha Berina tamcha sagvenu tachenu nora Nagibo dorshe yichudcha kavavot shomreim Marachem tahareim rachamim tzidkatecha tamid gomleim chasin kadosh Barov tuvacha nahel adatecha Yachi ge'el amcha pnei zochre kedushatecha Shabbatenu kabel Ushmat Tza'akatenu Yodea Talamohot Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Vohed. If you would, may your mighty right hand undo the knot that ties us up. Almighty, if you would, guard as the apple of your eye those who seek your unity.
Bless them, cleanse them, have compassion on them, always act justly toward them.
Mighty Holy One, in your abundant goodness, guide your people.
Lord exalted, turn to your people.
Listen to our pleas, hear our cries, knowing the hidden depths within us.
Praise be the name of the one who is glorious.
Okay. Well, let's see. It was written by in the 11th century, and it was written by a poet, Salman ibn Gabirol, and I think it's just because it's interesting that Hebrew ceased being a spoken language for centuries, right? And so it was the province of rabbis and poets. So I think it maybe it kind of it was a very unique sort of language. I think that they developed especially in Spain, Andalusia, right? So, but it's quite. It's not your ordinary everyday. No, it's definitely yeah. So it has that sort of poetic. What's that? Oh, okay. Yeah. Nice to see you too. Shabbat shalom. Oh yeah, that's right. So it was no longer a spoken language, or wasn't? What's that? Ah, great. So so up until the diaspora in the first century, Aramaic was sort of the everyday language, and then with the dispersion, with the diaspora, other languages developed, such as Ladino, for example, and of course Yiddish. But Aramaic was actually spoken for, in that early part of the, you know, right, right. So Aramaic was really the more common spoken language. So in Hebrew just was. No, I mean amongst Jews, Oh, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Well, because that's the thing with the diaspora, it was concentrated for a while in that region, but then as it spread far and wide, so when Jews went to Spain, Ladino developed, and Jews went to Poland and Germany, Yiddish developed. Well, so Hebrew, I mean, that's an interesting story in and of itself. It's I don't know if it's the only language to ever come back from the dead. Yeah, so thanks to Ben Yehuda, I forget his first name, but thanks to Ben Yehuda, he revived Hebrew as an everyday spoken language. I mean, was kept alive amongst rabbis and scholars and so forth and so on. But as far as the lingua franca, it fell. Right. So yeah, so that's kind of the story. And I don't know for certain, but I think I mean, when you think about the history of the Jews, we've lived all over the world. I think we've adapted a certain ability for picking up other languages, and sort of making them our own too. Right. So yeah, so it's a common right. So once again, it's a common language. So all right. So we'll continue on page 23. L'chadodi. L'chadodi likra kala penhei Shabbat mikabela. L'chadodi likra kala penhei Shabbat mikabela. Shamor v'zachor v'dibor echod. Ishmianu elam yuchad. Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shemo tiferet v'letilo. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. V'hikrat Shabbat lechu v'nelecho, ki hi mekor habracha, v'herosh mi kedem sucha somas hemachashavat chilo. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. V'hikdash melech yimelucha, u'mitzehi mitoch ha'hafecha, rahav l'Hashem be'mekabacha, v'hu yachamol alaychem lo. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. In ha'arim me'afar kugi, livshi bigdei tifartecha mi, ahaya ben yishai beit halachmi, karva el nafshi gehala. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likra kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Iva ore kumi ori Uri, Uri, Shir Daberi, Kevod Adonai Alaich Migla, Lecha Dodi, Lecha Dodi Likra Kalo, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela, Lecha Dodi Likra Kalo, B'nei Shabbat Nekabela. Lo tevoshiv lo tekalmi, matish tochachi umatehemi, mahyechesu ani heami, benifnita ir altila. Lecha dodi lekrakala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi lekrakala, b'nei Shabbat Nekabla Behayolim Shisa Shohosayich Berachaku Mevalayich Yasis Alayich Elohayich Kimsos Hatan HaKala Lecha Dodi Likrakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla Lecha Dodi Likrakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla Yaminu Smoti Hifrotzi V'het Adonai Taharitzi Ayarish Behen Patzi V'nismecha Benakila Lecha Dodi Likrakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla Lecha Dodi Likrakala B'nei Shabbat Nekabla Bohi V'shalom Ateret Balab Gaha B'simcha Hu B'tzahala Tohemone al segula, bohi chala, lecha dodi lekrakala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela, lecha dodi lekrakala, b'nei Shabbat nekabla. We're now on page 27. Mizmor shir liom hashabbat tov lodod ladonai lezamer l'shim helyon lehagid baboker chasecho bemunatecha baleilo. It is good to thank you, Adonai, and to sing to your name, Most High, to proclaim your love at daybreak, your faithfulness each night. You gladden me with your deeds, Adonai, and I shall sing of your handiwork. The arrogant do not understand, the fool does not comprehend this. The wicked flourish like grass, and every evildoer blossoms only to be destroyed forever. Surely your enemies, Adonai, surely your enemies will perish. All who commit evil will be scattered.
The wild bull raises up its horn. You raise my head high and rooted it for the threshold.
As my enemies gather against me, my gaze remains steady, for my ears listen and hear.
The righteous flourish like stick. Planted in the house of Adonai, they flourish.
In old age, they remain fruitful, still fresh and bountiful, proclaiming, Adonai is upright, my rock in whom there is no flaw. Tzadikata hamahi frach yehez bavanon yehez keshetonim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu yahafrihu. Od Yehovon ve'seva Yishenim ve'rananim Yeyo lehakid Yashar Adonai Suri Eloham Latabo. Page 29. Adonai Malach Eud Lavesh Adonai Oz Itazar Aftikon Tevel Baltimod. Adonai is sovereign, robed in splendor, girded in strength. The earth stands firm, not to be dislodged. From earliest times you were enthroned. You are eternal.
Rivers rise up out of Adonai. Raise up their rivers, raise up their waves. On the war of the vast sea and the ocean, Adonai stands supreme.
In your house, beautiful in its holiness, your testimonies endure, Adonai, for all time. Mikolot ma'im rabim adirim b'shbreyam adibamahom Adonai edotecha nehemenu meod nevetecha nava kodesh Adonai leorech yamim. Continue on page 39a, page 39a. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher b'dvaro mariv haravim b'chokhmah potech sharim ubitfnei meshane itim u'machalef et hazmanim u'mesader et hakochavim u'mishmereteim barakia kirtzono. Sovereign of time and space, whose word brings the evening dusk, whose wisdom opens the gates of dawn, whose understanding changes the day's division, whose will sets the succession of seasons and arranges the stars in their place in the sky.
Creates day and night, rules light before darkness and darkness from light. Makes day pass into night, distinguishes day from night. Adonai Tziva'ot is your name, living in ever present God. May your rule be with us forever and ever. Adonai, who brings each evening sun.
Ma'avir yom mevi laila, ma'avdil ben yom mevi laila, Adonai tzvot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam voed. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'mariv ha'havim. Continue at page 40. Avat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Torah mitzvot ukim mishpatim otanu lemadita Al ken Adonai Eloheinu shalfeinu v'kumeinu nasiach b'chukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ויורך ימינו לאורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה. אהבתך תעשה ממנו לעולמים Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, v'chol levavecha, v'chol nafshecha, v'chol me'otecha, v'ayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavecha, ayom al vavecha, v'shinatam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'vletecha b'derech, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לו על ידיך, והיו תותפות בין עיניך, וטבתם על מזור ביתך ובישעריך. Continue on our own on the next page. Adonai Elohechem Emet. Continue on page 43b. We'll read responsively. You proclaim the covenant on the seventh day.
You declared it and read it. We listened and heard.
You love this day we inherited, delighting in its remembrance.
You began its command with the word.
From the time you bestowed it, joy filled the hearts of Jeshurun, the people you redeemed.
During the cause of righteousness.
You exalted Shabbat as a sign between us forever. In 6 days your world was formed. On the seventh day you rested.
On this day Israel.
To honor your name, they sing songs of praise to the one deserving of praise. Umalchuto b'ratzon kibul aleihem Moshe Miriam uvnei Yisrael lechanu shira b'simcha rabba v'amru chulam mi chamocha po'elim Adonai mi chamocha neda b'kodesh norati lo tosef elem malchutcha uvonecha kiyam lifnei Moshe zeli anu v'amru Adonai yimloch leolam forever. V'nemar ki fada Adonai et Yaakov kula miad chazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai kal Yisrael. Continue on page 45. Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu l'shalom v'amidenu malkeinu l'chaim v'chos aleinu sukat shlomecha taknenu b'etzah tova milfonecha v'oshienu l'mahan shemecha. Allow us, Adonai, our God, to sleep peacefully. Awaken us to life, O Sovereign. Spread over us your canopy of peace. Restore us with your good counsel and save us for the sake of your name.
Shadow of your wings. You, God, watch over and deliver us. You, God, are sovereign.
V'hagen v'yadenu v'tzel kanafecha tasirenu ki el shomrenu matzilenu ata ki amalach chanun rachum ata u'shmor tzeitzenu v'enu l'chaim l'shalom yata v'yad olam u'fos aleinu sukat shalomecha Baruch atah Adonai hapores sukat shalom aleinu v'al amo Yisrael Yerushalayim. We rise for Vishamru on page 46. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותה ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינח. We'll recite the Vayichulu together on page 53. Please rise. Vayichulu hashamayim v'haaretz v'chol tzevam vayichal Elohim bayom hashvihi lato asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvihi mikom lato asher asa yivarech Elohim et yom hashvihi v'kadesh oto kivo shava mikom lato Asher bara Elohim lasot. We'll skip the next section since we don't have a minyan, and we'll continue with the kiddush on page 55. Zavri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav ratzavanu b'shabbat kodsho b'avav ratzon hinchilanu zikaron l'maseh v'reishit kihu yom techila l'mikrai kodesh Zecher letziat Mitzrayim, Ivanu v'acharta, Yotanu kidashto, Mikol amim, B'shabbat kodshecha, B'avav ratzon hinchatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. L'chaim, l'chaim. I want to take a moment to find something from later. Even though we don't have a minyan, so we don't recite the mourner's kaddish without a minyan. However, there is somebody wrote a beautiful prayer in place of the mourner's kaddish. But do you happen to Rosemary? Do you happen to remember where it might be? Okay, see if you can find it. Well, let's see. What's that? No, that's a kavanah for. But there's actually a alternative somebody wrote. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. And if we don't find it, I have another idea. So today is Lag BaOmer, right? Today is the 33rd day of the Omer period, and so the Omer, an Omer is a measurement. It's a measurement of flour, actually, and it's about this much. Not sure, something like that. It's the volume of 43 eggs. So I'm guessing that's something like that. What size, right? Regular, large, jumbo, quail, ostrich, right? Definitely not ostrich. Definitely, we know it's not ostrich eggs, because ostrich eggs are not kosher. So it would have been only based on a kosher egg. So it's a fairly large measurement of Omer, because there was the period. So in the Torah it says from the second day of Pesach that we start counting the Omer. And this was the 49-day period between the second day of Pesach and Shavuot, the holiday of Shavuot. And so that was barley flour was brought as an offering until the new wheat harvest could come in. And interestingly enough, well, I don't know if it's interesting or not. The Omer period was, I think, supposed to be a somewhat of a semi-festive period, but certainly not a mournful time. However, it became such after the time of Rabbi Akiva. So Rabbi Akiva had something like 20,000 students, something like this. And they became involved in disputes. There are two kinds of disputes that the Talmud talks about. There are disputes that are l'shem shemaim, for the sake of heaven, and there are disputes lo l'shem shemaim, not for the sake of heaven. So if people are engaged in discussion, argumentation to arrive at a higher truth, that's fine. But if it becomes personal and ego driven, that's problematic. And apparently that's what happened with the students of Rabbi Akiva, and they started getting into these vociferous arguments, and enmity developed, and they started. There was a plague that kind of swept through, and people were dying off because of this. And the cessation, it stopped, however, on the 33rd day, which is the yortzeit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, who is Rabbi Akiva's greatest student. And in the merit of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, there was a cessation of that plague. So Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, for those of you who don't know, he's accredited with the being the revealer of the Zohar. And so the mystical tradition is attributed to Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And there's a beautiful story in the Talmud that during a period of time where the Romans were persecuting anyone who studied Torah publicly, he and his son went to a cave where they lived for, was it a year or was it 7 years? Not sure. For a while. They lived there for a while. It was either for 1 year or for 7 years. And it, this is sort of a legendary type of a story, because it says they only had the clothes on their back, basically. So in order to preserve their clothing, they bury themselves up in sand, up to here, so they could study the Torah, because he had to be dressed to study the Torah. And then only in Shabbat did they, dig themselves out. I don't know how. And they dress themselves in their clothes in honor of Shabbat. And then during the week, and I think these things could be best understood in a symbolic way, right? Because I mean, the logistics of it but that's how their clothing lasted during that whole period of time. And then when it came time they knew it was because of the Ruach HaKodesh, they had spiritual insight. They knew it was safe to come out of hiding. And then the other thing about this legend that was that a carob tree grew at the entrance to the cave, kind of sprouted miraculously, and they lived on that carob tree and the spring that ran by the cave for all that time. So what happened when they emerged from the cave and they were filled with wisdom of Torah, the highest mystical wisdom of Torah? What happened? So he and his son would go out, and everywhere they looked, like they would be walking down the road and passing by a field, and wherever they looked, the field would burst into flames. So, and a voice came from heaven and said, "You're not ready to come out yet. Go back for another year." Okay, and I'll explain this to the best of my ability after I finish the story, some of the symbolism. And then they went back in for a year, and then they came out again, and there were no more fields bursting into flames. And in fact, they encountered a simple, I guess he was a farmer, maybe, and they were asking him. He had a bundle of myrtle branches, and which are very fragrant. And they asked him, "Where are you going?" And he said, I'm bringing this home to honor the Sabbath with beautiful fragrances." And they're like, "Oh, wonderful, that's great." So so it's a very, very curious story. Like, what does it mean? What is the symbolic meaning of this? Wherever they looked, the fields burst into flames. And I think it was maybe just the son, not the father. And so I think, they had such, laser focus, right? They were so, when it came to discerning the truth, they were very clear. They had a level of clarity which was amazing. But if even with um, such brilliant clarity and wisdom, if there's no compassion that goes along with it, then it could be dangerous. So I think that's what the message of the story is, that we are to cultivate our knowledge and our wisdom, but it has to be coupled with compassion, and to see everybody with eyes of compassion instead of sort of like having a sharp sort of a judgment. So that's that is a Shimon Bar Yochai story. And did you find the wonderful? Great. Page 30. Okay, so after Aleinu, we'll go to page 30. Um, column on the side next to it. Great. Okay, so first Aleinu on page 56, and then those of us saying Mourner's Kaddish will turn to page 30, or we'll all turn to page 30, because there is a call and response as well. Or not a call and response, but there's a response. So we rise for Aleinu, page 56. Aleinu l'shabeach ladon hakol hatekudla liotze bereshit shelo asanu kugei haratzot v'lo samanu kimishbachot hadama shelo samchakenu kohem v'gor aleinu Hamonam ve'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim livnei melech malchei hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu shehu notet shamayim v'yosed haaretz u'moshav yikaro b'shamayim imahal u'shchinatu zo b'gov meromim Hu Eloheinu Eino Hemet Malkeinu Evezulato Kakatu B'Torato V'yadata Yom Hashevota Elevovecho Ki Adonai Hu Elohim B'Shamayim Mimahal V'al Haaretz Mitachad ein od. Kakatu v'toratecha, Adonai yimloch le'olam vo'en, v'nehem har, Ahaya Adonai, Melech al kol haaretz, bayom hahu, Ye Adonai echad, Ushmo echad. So those of us who are reciting Kaddish in memory of a loved one can remain standing. The rest of us may be seated. And on page 30, so on page 30 in the margin, there's a prayer in place of Mourner's Kaddish. And there's a place in the middle where it says, all who are present respond. So if you're not saying, even if you're not saying Kaddish at this time, we'll all respond, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Vo'ed, and then recite the Oseh Shalom together. So we'll start, those of us saying Kaddish, and at this time, I'd like to mention the names of people who are for whom a yahrzeit is occurring in the coming week. Jamie Rothschild's mother, Florence Rothschild, Joy Epstein's brother, Mark Lowenthal, Arnie Becker's mother, Mildred, Iris Silverman's sister, Libby Pincus, Gail Davis's grandmother, Minnie Epstein, as well as Irving Top, Joseph Wiener, Murray Core, and Ida Zakarin and Max Friedman. Ribono Shel Olam, Elohei Haruchot L'chol Basar. Does everybody see that? Actually, so page 30, if you're saying Mourner's Kaddish, please say this with me. So it starts Ribono Shel Olam. Ribono shel olam, Elohei haruchot lechol basar, Master of the world, God of the spirit of all flesh, it is revealed and known before you that it is my fervent desire to praise your name and to remember and honor my beloved by reciting the mourner's Kaddish in the company of a minyan. May my presence here today with my community find favor in your eyes and be accepted and received before you as if I had prayed the Kaddish. May your name, Adonai, be elevated and sanctified everywhere on earth. May peace reign everywhere. Together, Baruch Shem Kavod Machuto Leolam Voed, Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Services tomorrow are at 9:30. 9:30. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat, 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 shalom. Shabbat shalom.
Just as a matter of interest, Joni's birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday, Joni. Yes, happy birthday. Yes. Okay, that sounds like a plan. A Benjamin Button kind of a thing. Well, yeah, I mean, that was because is the Shabbat before her birthday. So that's why she got a special.
So you double dip it. Double.
Sure, why not? Okay.